Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, good morning.
How are you feeling?
Okay.
Good, good. Thank you so much for your flexibility.
Yeah.
So, what's our agenda for today? We have lots of stuff we could talk about.
When I said yes to the meeting yesterday, didn't realize it's at 5 p.m. I hope it really ends at the meeting with Joseph. I really hope it ends at 5:30. I am leading a Good Friday service for my church at 6
Oh, wow.
tomorrow. Tomorrow is Good Friday. I don't even know why he puts a meeting. I just didn't realize we avoid all meetings whatsoever on a Good Friday. But
So do we. So do we. Yeah.
yeah, so he says is I will need to leave 5:30 exactly to drive to church.
Oh, wow.
And
You're going to be
I
driving
was,
after that.
yeah, but
That,
I just hope the meeting finishes at 5:30 as he says.
how far away is the church drive at that time of day?
Normally the drive to my church is 20 minutes from my house. So I just hope that going to church, it shouldn't be that bad coming if it was the other way. So I just hope it's yeah. I looked at this, I clicked yes to it without even realizing.
I
When I
think
look
a
at the
lot of
schedule, I say,
people did. I think a lot of people did. So it can end for you at 5:30, whether it's over or not.
yeah, I would know I would have to leave because I am the one leading the service.
I,
Yeah.
how do you feel about having that so close, given that you do have to lead the service?
Well, I was very surprised. I'm like, wait a minute, isn't Joseph, he's a priest, right?
Pastor.
Or
He's
pastor.
a pastor,
Why am I,
United Methodist Church.
oh, he's a pastor. Why on earth will you put a service on a meeting on a Good Friday? So,
Oh,
anyway,
I don't know, but
so
I know my church's Good Friday services at noon. So I thought,
oh,
oh,
it's
well,
at
his will
noon.
be long over by then.
Yeah, my church, because we try to put it so that majority of people can come
Right,
because most people, as you know, they work.
right.
So we if we put it in like at noon, you will not have many people. So our service is always in the evening.
Yes.
And Jesus already died. Anyway,
Well, I
yeah, but
understand. I hope with you it'll all be resolved within 10 minutes and you get to leave and the meeting ends early. So that's what we'll put out there.
it is a conflict. It is a the schedule thing is for the schedule
It is. So it should be brief. That's the
prayer
top.
session. I think the schedule for currently is Wednesday, right? Then most of us said it was okay, right?
Most of us
In that up,
well, in our little group, yes, we said Wednesday or Thursday. But the larger group of students that Joseph's working with that we don't know, because we'll have some new students, I don't know what they have said, but he has on the document that they're proposing it for Thursday, 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's what, and
Thursday.
yeah, so that's what he'll talk about, and we'll find out what the other students think, and we'll have a maximum of a total of 6 students in our group. So it'll be we
Okay,
anticipate the 3 we have now, plus potentially 3 more students.
okay.
Yeah. So what, in addition to those kind of logistical things, what else did you have on your agenda for today?
Oh, I wanted I've been doing retrospective of the semester, I would say, seeing how far we've become. You know, and I was saying to myself, when I looked at the schedule in the beginning, I said, what busy work is this? What, at my age, I'm going to school again. What kind of busy work is this? But to be honest, it's been a really good journey. It's a journey of learning, you know, and then a lot of introspection for me. It's been really that, and it's been really good to have you as a teacher and to have the colleague that we're all working on it. So I've been doing a lot of retrospective but introspection, which was have been happening.
Yes.
Yeah. But I wanted to share with you because for the first time, I'm having someone that is Catholic. You
Ah,
know, I've encountered Catholic, but to have as a um 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 what is Darren, she is Catholic, but
okay.
she's Catholic slash Methodist,
Oh,
which is
okay.
different.
Okay.
She's Catholic slash Methodist, so it's very different. But this Francis that I just have, she's Catholic and traditional Catholic.
Oh,
That is it,
okay. Yeah,
you
that's a
know.
different thing. Yeah.
Yeah, and not only traditional Catholic, traditional Nigerian Catholic.
Oh,
So
wow.
yeah. And I encountered her because Lizzie had recommended her to me, that recommended me to her. So she had called me, said, Lizzie says you are really, really helping her. I too have been struggling. Her own is just trauma. She's always had trauma. She said, I too have been struggling, and she's been in therapy for a long time.
Wow.
But she was like, those therapy sessions do not help me. When sometimes I
Is
go to
this
therapy and come back,
is this
coming in.
Lizzie that's been in therapy you're talking about?
No, no,
Or
no, 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 Francis.
oh, Francis,
Francis,
new person.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. She's like, she was just telling me how horrible therapy is. Therapy does nothing but take your money. And that these therapists need to go to therapy themselves. I
Wow.
mean, the thing is that Cameroonians really, for us, um, especially Cameroonians born in Cameroon, lived in Cameroon, grew up in Cameroon, therapy is not something we do, right?
Right.
The community is therapy. It is
Yeah.
the churches. It's not something that, and then you don't have a lot of therapists in Cameroon. I think now, because of globalization, that might become something which is common, but not at all common, not at all. So she came here because she's been struggling since Cameroon. She really, really struggled. Came from a very dysfunctional home.
Mm.
Then she was first married to a guy with whom she had three kids and he was very dysfunctional, you know. So they both of the parents are Nigerian, but they grew up in Cameroon.
Mm.
What happens is a lot of what they call Igbo, I don't know if you know. Igbo
Yes.
is the Nigerian that do a lot of trade.
Yes.
They are known for trade. And if you look at many parts in Cameroon that are high commercial area, the big stores that belong to Nigerians. So you have a lot of Nigerians that live in Cameroon and trade in Cameroon.
Okay.
So so she's completely Nigerian, but grew up in Cameroon with parents that are uh, um, they own big stores there. They are yeah. So she was married there in Cameroon to a Nigerian in Cameroon with very, very traumatized relationship. He was always gone, always gone. So she had a really, I would say, chaotic one family growing up, chaotic marriage. So that as she told me herself, at least my life has been nothing but chaos.
Mm.
And I'm trying to find myself. That also impacted her academic journey because she said, and it's true. I don't know her that much, but from the little I saw, she said, I'm very, very smart, but I never start anything and finish. It
Ah.
took her so more long time to finish her bachelor's. then went to do her RN. She could do BSN, but she didn't finish. She was in the program, she didn't finish. She said, I always start something, I never finish. And I'm very smart. Everyone will tell you I'm very smart, but there's this pain of my childhood that carries me through life that I cannot let go. And she's been done a lot of therapy with that. And I again, obviously now we learn tools, and I said, because she talked about her faith also a lot, and I said, what about your faith and how has her faith helped you in this whole reality?
Hmm.
So one thing I like with her, she's brutally honest. She said, I really don't even know how to pray. We go to church, we say mass, we depend on the priest to say mass. He says his thing, then we leave.
Wow.
I really don't know how to pray. And
Uh-oh, I think we froze. Zoom is not shutting down again today. Hmm.
I am so sorry. My phone will not even let me. Yesterday we have this massive outage.
Yes.
Uh,
I had, it interrupted a couple of my meetings. Yeah,
oh, yeah. Did you have the outage too?
we did.
Oh, was it a California thing?
It was a global thing.
It was global.
On Zoom, it was global. It was a massive Zoom outage. So all sorts of meetings were
We
shut
didn't
down.
have light. We didn't have light. Light came back at 6.
Oh, now
6
that's
p.m.
different. But yeah.
The lights were off, internet off, even my normal mobile, which is T-Mobile, was off. I mean, yesterday was horrible. So the lights just went off, internet just went off now. Let me just leave it before it goes back off. It's just like, yeah,
Wow.
sorry about that.
T-Mobile went down yesterday. I didn't know that.
Yes, in my area, because I thought it was only my area. That's why I'm asking you if it was global, you
Zoom was
know.
off yesterday. Zoom was globally out yesterday.
Oh.
But not T-Mobile or AT&T to my knowledge.
I was on Zoom with the students, it just went off. Then, but
Yeah.
we didn't have lights either. I couldn't call either. So that's why. And then I got Spectrum saying there was outage, and T-Mobile did not say anything though, but I didn't have a connection around here. I had to run to my office because I had this Good Friday service I was preparing. I said, no, I have to do it yesterday. So I went to my office. I was able to do it from my office.
But when
Then
you went there, you didn't know if they were going to have power there?
no, I did not even know there was going to have power. I said, anything but home. I'm not staying because Spectrum had indicated that services will be restored at 11 p.m. Mind you, it was
Wow.
the student meeting with the student was what around 5. So when I got that notification that it will be around 11 p.m., like, I'm not staying here. Told my mom, I'm leaving. So I say, at that time they had no lights. I said, sorry, you guys will be in darkness. I'm done. I was just hoping that it is just my area when I go to school. It is in Glendora, so that's different. So anyway,
Wow.
when I
Well,
see it go now, I say, oh my God, please don't do that again. Yeah, sorry about that.
that's okay. That's okay. So you
Yeah.
were saying you're you're learning about this new person that you're going to be working with, and you're very much aware that their trauma is informing their ability to complete adults' tasks now as an adult.
Yeah, it is informed the ability to start anything and finish. It's
Finish.
such a She finished her bachelor's, which was such she said took her what 6.5 years because she was on and off. It's her ability to finish anything whatsoever, and it also informs her ability to keep any relationship. She doesn't keep relationship that much because she has this inability to trust anyone. And they proposed for her therapy. She's done therapy a long time, but she's like, it hasn't done much to me. And then she was prescribed medication for anxiety, which the medication, according to her, made it worse. It didn't help her, it made it worse. And then she became dependent on medication for a while. Then one of the doctors had to stop it.
Mm.
Yeah, because she became so dependent and it wasn't even helping her anyway. So Lizzie, she said, oh, Lizzie told me that she's really having great time in our conversations, and that I've helped her. Now I told you that Lizzie really takes time to pray, and that prayer, especially Psalm reading, is helping her a lot. So Lizzie's told her to call me that to accompany her in her own journey. So she called me. She was very excited talking.
Good.
But you know what? I got a little bit of I a little bit of suspicion. I say, oh my God, this is a woman who has never trusted anyone. So what makes it that she's going to trust me?
What makes you
You
assume
know,
that she does trust
you
you?
know, she,
She may
they,
start but not finish.
no. I said, Lord, okay, you want to embark me on a journey that, I've not been in anything like this with someone in caregiving that I would say that, okay, it's a kind of suspiciousness, right? He said,
Mhm.
how long she will be with me before she,
Right.
you
Before
know?
she's gone, she'll be like you. I'm leaving you guys in the dark. I'm out.
But we just had our first meeting. So it was funny because she just told me the story. She said, I lived in your country. So she started with politics. Then I just let her talk,
Hmm.
So I did not, which is again, I've learned to just, just be there, that presence for her that she need to be able to she needed to talk. So I was there. I didn't talk much at all. But I was nodding, and at some point we're laughing when she was
Hmm.
talking about all this therapy, and you needed to hear her talk about therapy. And the therapist said,
Right.
it's like, he said, isn't there something in the Bible that doctor cure yourself first?
She asked you that?
Yes, she asked me. He says that some of these therapists need to do that for themselves, you know. And yeah, but in the end of it, I just asked question of ritual that she has or anything that she does that makes her feel good. And when she talked about her faith, I asked her the same questions. What about that was trying? Is Spectrum trying to talk about outage again? That's Spectrum. Let me clear it. Yeah. They're at least good. When there's outage, like the internet just went out for a while, they'll always call, which is
That's
the
good.
one thing they're good
Give you
about. They're
notice.
good about that. Yeah.
That's very good. This situation makes me curious. Have you thought about the difference between therapy and functioning in spiritual care, between the role of the therapist and the role of the chaplain?
Right, right. Because again, and no, this is one thing I told them. I say, chaplains are not therapists. So I am not there for that. I don't even have the ability. I'm not even equipped for that. You know, I said to be like this, someone will be there for you to present, who will be there for you to create the space for you. I will be there. That kind of, and my ability, yes, I have ability to give spiritual care, but I am not a therapist, cannot be a therapist. There are two different roles. So I told her that. But is there any other aspect that you wanted to alert me to?
I think that's great that you did that. So I just want to affirm that as well. And it's a wonderful opportunity for you to lean into doing a spiritual assessment because
Right.
although it's important, there's not an emergency, around her situation. It's urgent, but not the pressing emergency as you have had with the other people, spiritual care receivers. So this is an opportunity for you, I think, could be to really lean on into a spiritual assessment. So I already heard you asking her about spiritual rituals. So you're beginning to
Mm-hmm.
map her assets, her spiritual assets. You're beginning
Mm-hmm.
that process. So those are two, I think, very critical things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And you already sounds like just in the conversation and what you've shared with me about her faith background, you've already done sort of a spiritual or faith
Mm-hmm.
history. So if you remember those distinctions that we made between
Mm-hmm.
spiritual, a religious survey, a history assessment, you have an opportunity to proceed
Mm-hmm.
through a thorough spiritual assessment.
Right, right, right.
So you
Yeah.
have the if I'm recalling, you got a few were given to you. I remember in a couple of presentations, but um, and they talked about the types of questions you asked, and they were framed around an acronym like HOPE And so you ask
Mm-hmm.
questions about, so this is a chance to pick one of those and
Mm-hmm.
begin to ask those questions. And then what you add to it is you creating your own unique spiritual assessment tool.
Mm-hmm.
You may
Mm-hmm.
take some things away from it and, just tweak it to your needs. But
Right,
do
right.
lean into that. I think that will be good for you. What are your plans around your time management?
Oh, no, no. Now I try to keep it at 45 minutes. Yesterday I met with her for 1 hour just because it was the first time. But I try to keep it between 30 and 45 minutes, max 1 hour. She is the kind of person that from what I'm seeing, she just needs to talk. A lot of her things she needs to talk. Um, sometimes it's helpful when you like Patience. I knew her, so I knew her. Knowing someone helps. Her, I don't know her at all, so it is like discovering. But again, as you say, it's assessing and knowing doing spiritual assessment and knowing how to be that caregiver and in what capacity. I can be a spiritual caregiver to her. Um, in the end yesterday, she herself, she asked if we could pray. And we prayed together. And I asked her to pray. She said, oh, no, 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 no. We Catholic don't pray. The priest does that.
That was
It's
good.
funny because that's,
That's
yes,
a
that
good learning for you.
yeah, that the priest does that. I said, don't pray at all. Oh, he said, I didn't bring my rosary.
Very good.
That's another her own ritual, you
That's
know.
right.
So I didn't need to do this with Darren though, because as I said, she's Catholic slash
That's
Methodist.
right.
So we didn't need to do anything rosary and all of that. And for Darren too, she was at APU before. Right now she's at Emory, no, Duke. She is at APU. When she was at APU, they are required to go to chapel. So she
Mm.
she knows the ritual of prayer. She knows that. So I didn't have this oh, no, 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 the priest praise or this language with her at all. But she's proudly Catholic and say I'm Catholic Methodist. However, you can slash those.
Hmm.
But with Francis, it's different. So, but again, in the end, we prayed together.
How did you
And
end the
she said,
prayer?
so after praying, you mean?
Yeah. Did you end it in Jesus' name?
Yes.
That must be the slash Methodist part. It's not traditionally how Catholics end their prayers. So that's interesting. But this is an opportunity to journey with her.
How do Catholic end their prayer?
Depends on the Catholic. Like they say, the priest does that. So this is how your Catholic slash Methodist does it. But what this does, Alice, is it puts you in the position of having to ask
Mm-hmm.
and not assume. And you're
Yes,
learning.
yes.
That's good. That's part of you moving into that spiritual care giver lane, functioning as the chaplain. Remember, we don't have to know everything. We just have to have the cultural and religious humility to come alongside. And sometimes that means asking, not assuming.
So, are you telling me that when she says I should pray the rosary with her, I should let her?
I'm telling you, I'm not telling you. And I'm inviting you to ask her.
No, this chaplain thing. Does that mean?
It's the beauty of a chaplain thing. I have no answers. I'm just coming alongside you, Alice.
This interreligious matter? I have to be Buddhist. I have to be one. I have to be Catholic. I have to be Orthodox. I have to be Jewish Jewish, that's okay.
Paul
So
say something about this when in Rome.
do what the Romans do. So it doesn't matter my conviction, you're a chaplain. The caregiver wants you to pray the rosary, you just pray the rosary.
There you go. You
Wow.
come alongside them. Yeah. So it even if the person says, I do not believe in God at all, you don't hesitate. You're able to just come alongside them because you know spiritual care is broader than religion.
Absolutely. You know, the person who doesn't believe in God at all, that one is easier, right?
I find so that too. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, that one is easier. It's easier than telling me to go and be praying the rosary, right? It is easier than say do some like Buddhist prayer, which I've not done. I have to learn, or the Muslim that I have to read from the Quran if need be. But first of all, is that the Quran is in Arabic. They don't
Right.
translate it.
And there would be some, each context has certain restrictions, some of which are informed by gender. So what they
Okay.
may invite you to do with them, often their faith tradition dictates. So when I have met with Muslim patients, men and women, they have very clear boundaries on what I can do as a woman and as a
Mm-hmm.
non-Muslim. And so you
Mm-hmm.
really do follow their lead. And I often find myself leaning into the emotional support, and inviting them to reflect on how their faith can inform their journey. But they don't
Mm-hmm.
see me as a priest or as and not, I don't mean priest in the formal sense. They don't see me as a intercessor in their faith tradition.
Mm-hmm.
So that you're this other called chaplain and you're coming alongside. And it's helpful. It's helpful because there are things they are just not going to do with me, who is not Muslim, who is not male, in that particular case. And in each situation, it's different. So this is so to your earlier question, what are some of the things to keep in mind? This is one of them. So your curiosity of how you can journey with her will be very important.
Mm-hmm.
And she
Mm-hmm.
has a preconceived notion of what you are going to provide.
Yes.
Yeah,
Based on all this, most of the things she thinks I'm going to provide is her conversation with Lizzie.
that's right.
So that's why when we prayed, I prayed with her the psalm.
Okay.
I prayed the psalm with her. Just prayed simple Psalm 23 with her. The Lord is my shepherd, you know, and she was happy. Um, because when I pray the psalm, I do it very slow in such a way that she can get. I do it very liberally slow and personalize it most of the time.
Yeah, I think that's so powerful that you do that. I do
Yeah.
want to reflect back to you that you said, I don't know fully what all is under it, but I know time management is one of your goals, and you do
Mm,
understand. I know that from your reflections to be part of your spiritual practice. But even here in this conversation, describing your interactions with her, you said 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 1 hour at the most. So those are all very different. So I want you to keep that in mind, that your sliding scale does not slide beyond the boundaries you have to set, right? And
My
then,
my ultimate boundary is an hour
okay,
because those the patients I never did an hour, I did more time because she will talk when she's able to talk. Then yeah, but Lizzie is hard to keep 1 hour. Yeah, but we did 1 hour of our time when we were sitting to have spiritual care. Then obviously went for tea. That was, I didn't count that hour spiritual care. But again, in the process of that, there were, yeah.
would you say
But
more about that? Because you've said that a couple of times. So that you had a visit with someone And then obviously we had tea. Can you share more with me about the tea? I don't know the obvious
The
tea.
tea is, you don't go to Lizzie's house and come without that. Again, if she's a very hospitable person and she doesn't take it once, obviously I was also in an area though I couldn't stay. But she's someone who wants you to have something after. Say, come have tea with me, or if you, because if she, you say you don't want to eat, you don't feel like eating, she's like, come have, at least have tea with me.
So is
And
that
then
unique to her or is that a cultural practice?
Africans, let me not generalize Africans, Cameroonians, when you go to somebody's place, it is an honor for that person to offer you something to eat.
Okay.
By default, they will.
Okay.
Cameroonians, by default, they will. They want you to eat something. You don't just go in and out. It is in Cameroon, actually, that one is a huge thing. You don't go to someone's house and say no to food or anything they give you. Yeah, so she's really like that.
Okay.
Tea is become, this is the third time we have tea together. We have had tea together 3 times, which gives us the opportunity to just chat and laugh. And it's a very light moment, right? But in the lightness of it though, it's very deep too, because it feels like caregiving, but it's not, because it's really a moment when we talk about tea, then you talk about so many different things. She forgets her own issue at that time. We just talk about different things.
I'm not sure
Yeah.
that that isn't also spiritual care.
Because you remember once I had asked you the fine line between where are the boundaries? Like I had asked you because on Sunday, when people come after church, some people come and really have deep conversation from the, especially when I preach, people will always want to talk. Um, so I'd asked you once, what are those moments?
That's right.
Are those spiritual care? You had said no.
I remember that question. It depends, doesn't it?
Yeah, and now I know. Like Sunday now, I do two spiritual care, which is really people that I meet who really want spiritual counseling. But I separate that from all those, how you call it, the what is the term for it? The corridor moments, where
Mhm,
people, right?
mhm.
But the irony, though, is that some of those moments are deep, deep spiritual care time
That's right.
moment for some people,
Yeah.
But I just remove that from that. So that's why I separate the time, our tea time and laughing and talking from us. I never name it spiritual care time.
That's
So
helpful.
I do not count it in the
Right. And
spiritual
that
care time.
that was the context of our earlier conversation. We were trying to figure out what counts as clinical hours and what doesn't. At least
Yes,
that's where my
yes,
brain.
clinical hours. Yes, yes, yes,
But
that
this
was
is a
it.
bit of a different conversation of just kind of acknowledging that the spiritual care goes beyond sort of the formal boundaries of the moment. And it's okay for you to appreciate that and to reflect on that and be attentive to that because it does. And like you say, even though the agenda is not her, the fact that she is drawn out of herself and focusing on something else is very healing.
Mhm,
It's very healing.
mhm. Yeah, it was in that light, yeah, it really correlates to what yesterday Francis was talking to me, because she was like heavy about therapy. She's been there, it's done nothing. You could just feel the heavy moment coming. Then she said something which made me realize, oh, she lived in Cameroon. So I said, oh, you lived in Cameroon? Yes, yes, yeah, my parents, we Igbos, we we go everywhere for we go everywhere where there's money, you can get money. So my parents lived there and I lived there. When we shifted to that, the mood changed and it was lighter and it was loving, it was making fun of the Igbos, which is true. Cameroonians make fun of them. they would do anything for money. Anyway, that moment was a little bit lighter, and it shifted, it helped shift from these like melancholic description of therapy,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So yeah.
That awareness, Alice, is so important. Both the awareness that you have of the conversation shifting and the atmosphere shifting, and then your attentiveness to what's shifting in you and your
Mhm,
observations of what's shifting in her. Because all of
mhm.
that information is important and can contribute to your overall spiritual care assessment.
This is a question I want to ask you though. In listening to her, honestly, between you and I think she needs therapy.
I'm
It
not
doesn't mean that she doesn't need spiritual care. I told her, she, because at the end she asked me, oh, will you be having spirit, well, anyway, she said, will you do chaplain with me? That's her language. I said, yes, I will. But to be really honest, the fact that she had bad experience with therapy doesn't mean she therapy was not what she really does need it. It is, you could see she's very disoriented. Sometimes there's lack of coherence in the way she was describing her experience. I think she finds somebody really good, you know. And honestly, I think she finds somebody, person of color, because the people she was always met, they were white. For her description, she does need it,
okay.
you
So
know.
this is important information, important observation that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you're going to continue to see that line, because how would you invite her into that? Or would you even invite her into that? Or would you see that outside of your realm in that role of that
Yeah,
spiritual caregiver chaplain? This is important information. So your
right.
observations are important. Yeah.
I'm just thinking for now, I just want to get to know
You just
her. And
want to
when I
get
get
to,
to, I want to get to know her. That I need sessions with her to really get to know her, to let her build rapport, to so that maybe one day it will be in a moment where, when if I propose or say let's talk about it, she will be willing to. Right now, forget it. You can't say anything about therapy to her. No, period. But I think with time, there might be that trust that
Mhm,
will allow for a different kind of conversation about it.
mhm.
Hopefully. I
Okay,
don't know when, but right now is not the time. I know it's not the time, but I do know that she really, really needs it.
okay. That's part of your assessment. Very good. And
Mm-hmm,
even your understanding of the intervention and the timing of what it might be to even have a
mm-hmm,
conversation. You're
mm-hmm.
you're in the chaplain lane and you want to, as best you can,
Yeah.
continue in that lane. Yeah.
I just don't want her to see me as a therapist though.
I know you don't. I know you don't. Right. Yeah.
Mhm.
And your
Yeah.
concern about that is because what you said earlier, hey, I don't have the skill set for that. Is that what your concern is?
No, it's also making her understand chaplains are not therapists.
So this is
So she
part of your,
doesn't blur that boundary between a chaplain and thinking that what a chaplain does is therapy. I don't want her to go somewhere and think, oh, I'm seeing a chaplain, and then in her mind think that's therapy. It's not. But I was very clear yesterday. We do spiritual care.
very good.
Yeah, we do not do therapy.
So in a way, you're saying one of her future assets for her ongoing care could be therapy, the right match, the right situation. And you don't want to suggest you're eliminating that, replacing that, or she's with you instead of that. And so
Mhm.
you're noting this is something you want to communicate when it's
Yes.
appropriate on an ongoing
Mhm.
basis. And that is a
Mhm.
part of your original
Mhm.
question. What are things I need to be aware of? That's one of them. That you
Right.
communicate what you've already
Mhm.
become aware of. Excellent. You're doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, very good. I want you to
Yeah.
practice. I want you to practice ending the session. I don't know why you're, don't laugh. I want you to practice it right now. How would you do it?
Mm. I'm not yet equipped with that, you know.
Okay. It's not easy to do. It's not easy to
No,
do.
it's
You are
not.
compassionate.
It's not.
You are,
Mm-mm. And
is not.
especially, you really don't want that person to feel, oh, she's bored with me right now, right? To find the what is said, the appropriate moment to slowly end it. I think that is one of my learning urge.
I think
That is still very much my learning urge. Because there's always that thing, I really, really do not want the other to think, oh, now I'm bored, I need to go.
right.
I don't know if it helps though to for them to know, okay, our session is an hour beforehand, or our session is 45 minutes way beforehand, so that when they come to the session, they know that it's 45 minutes, it's an hour. So it doesn't feel like I am the one trying to end it. What do you
That's
think?
I think you do have a thought about that. And you think that might be helpful. Yeah. Yes. I've asked you before when you were meeting, particularly with the boys, would it be helpful to tell them this is how much time I have? And you're like, no, no. I'm not. So
No,
I,
because that is a different, this is people who don't even want to talk to people, right?
right.
So trust me to talk to me. Theirs is very different. This
Yes.
situation is a situation of somebody who she doesn't mind talking
Not
at
yet.
all,
It's gonna be good.
and she doesn't mind talking, especially telling you her therapy is a bad thing, So that piece. And I was happy though that I was able to make her move from that in very subtle ways to
Good.
get her to talk about something else. Like for instance, when I noticed that um, both her parents lived in Cameroon, that was a point which I was like, oh, I never knew that. But
And
that let her talk about that experience in Cameroon for a bit and moved away from this heavy because I really felt it was becoming heavy,
right.
you know.
And it's especially
Yeah.
difficult to end when it is heavy because you are so concerned.
Mm.
But let me model, if I can, for you right now.
Yes.
Alice, I have appreciated our time together here, but we are at the end of the time we have for today. I look forward to the next time we get to talk.
Oh, great. Thank you. Oh, that is great what you just did. That is okay. That is what I should do.
I don't know if that's what you should do, but that's what I'm doing. So,
Right.
but it's
But you're
awkward. You want
expert.
to
You've been in for, how was it for you in the beginning? Was it also difficult?
don't shift this back on me. No, no,
No,
we
I
don't.
mean how you came to the point where you're not comfortable, you have the strategy. It
Right.
wasn't, how was that?
I appreciate the question. There are two things I'm responding to. One is it's a goal you've stated. So I'm coming alongside you and reminding you of your goal. And two, I'm very much aware as a manager of a team of chaplains and as a chaplain myself that time management is critical. And for
Mhm.
chaplains who struggle with it, it is burdensome. It's burdensome on the team. It's burdensome for me as a manager. It's burdensome on the patients. It is a skill that is important to develop because it really
Mhm.
matters. People do reach their limit physically and emotionally and spiritually, and sometimes don't know it. Both the chaplain and the spiritual care receiver, right? And then logistically, as a manager, if you are regularly going over time, you are disrupting the budget and causing me to have to make cuts which is going to impact other people who will never be seen
Mm-hmm.
because we are not managing our time and the resource
Right,
well. So
right.
yeah, it's something that I struggle with now, I shouldn't say I struggle with it now, but it's something I'm aware of now. And in the beginning, as a chaplain, it was hard for me to get out the room. I'd look up and it was an hour later, and I have 7 more people to see, and I have 2 more hours left in my day. And so it is a skill, and I appreciate that you've identified it as a goal for you.
Mhm.
And I think
I
it's a
need to
good
get
goal.
a good, I need to get a good big watch that is not in my phone because, you know,
Oh,
in a personal relationship, when you go to your phone to look at time, but you have something that I, for me, I think it will help a lot to have something that I can keep.
yes.
Yeah.
So that all of this is so important, Alice, as you are continuing to develop your skills. Some of this it seems like it comes natural to you to be professional, to be hospitable and courteous. And some of it is also those same skills are good spiritual care skills.
Mhm.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
One of my sayings that I would say to myself is
Hmm.
boundaries are
Hmm.
the antidote to resentment. So if I practice
Hmm.
good boundaries, I won't develop resentment for myself because I haven't taken care of my time well, or resentment for the person, feeling like they took too much of my time.
Right,
So if I
right.
establish boundaries, it's a good professional skill, and it is an antidote to having any kind of resentment.
Yeah, yeah.
All
No,
right,
thank you.
you're
Thank you. I
welcome.
appreciate that.
You're welcome. I
Yeah, I
appreciate you.
appreciate it.
Have a good spring break, and I will see you when we get back. I'll wave at the person in
Okay.
the background.
That's my
That's
mother
your mother,
that
I
just talked.
figure, so I'm waving at her.
Yeah.
Enjoy your Good Friday. And again,
Yeah, thank you.
you leave as you need to leave. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll make
Yeah,
sure you
yeah.
get the information.
Yeah. And if it's really for the time, I hope if we have like our current group, we already agreed for a time. So also not be
Yes.
that a difficulty.
I
Yeah.
agree. I agree. Thank you,
Mhm.
Alice. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, thank you so much. Also,
You're
have a
welcome.
blessed Easter week.
Thank
Easter
you.
week.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Are you preaching?
Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Sunrise, Good Friday, the whole 9 yards. So I'm
Yes.
practicing
Yeah.
a lot of good self-care.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Okay,
That's why
thank
we
you.
have spring break now. We need it.
We need it. Yeah, tomorrow it is really helpful that we don't have class for real.
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
Especially it's
Take
Good
care. All
Friday.
right. Bye-bye.
Okay.